Now then, welcome to the latest instalment of Red Army TV, and what a lineup we have on the couch. It's a super couch this week, unfortunately not like the performances of late on the field. We've got to say an initial welcome to the man from Red Army Social, Phil Bullock, out there on the wing. He's made a Monday night his own in this studio. Welcome, mate. And not just world champ, but now 2 times world champ. Duzza is in the house. How are you doing, mate?
Doesn't that sound great?
Oh, hey, look, I've got to shake your hand. Congratulations. It's fantastic to see what you did.
Thanks for the invite.
You put us through it a bit, though, mate. I bet you put yourself through it, did you, at the end?
It was such the emotions, the intensity, the ups, the downs, and nobody ever talks about the final from last year, but everybody wants to talk about the final this year. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise, but sometimes during that match I was, if I can get across to you just how much I was going through it, and yeah, it was tough. But to get over the winning line, it was fantastic.
What's it like to sit next to a 2 times world champ, mate?
Do you know what? I can't even like speak actually at the minute.
That's not like you.
I was just gonna, yeah.
You've got the biggest mouth in the room.
I was just gonna say when we were watching that, you were on top in the last game, and you'd just gone for your break, and we were like, let's leg it to the takeaway, and we'll get back and we'll watch it. Legged it the takeaway, came back, and we were like, what is going on? Come on. And it's the first time I've ever sat and watched darts. So I was screaming at the telly. I didn't even know what I was screaming at the telly, but
well, we'll talk more about
that gives me goosey just hearing things like
this.
Some of the stories I've had, it's and to have the Borough fans behind me, it's brilliant. But just hearing that there from Phil, it's tremendous.
I've only got one criticism, mate, of the night. You went to get the flag after you won, didn't you? But you put it over your shoulder. It would have looked very nice if you did. I know you had your hands full of stuff, but
I'll remember for next year.
Good man.
Put everything else down and just hold the flag.
Well, it'll be yours next year, won't it? 3 successive wins. It's got to be. They've got to give you.
I genuinely don't know that, but it's a possibility.
Well, we've been pretty good starting movements on this show, so we'll start a movement already. Does a wins it, he keeps it. So fabulous. We'll talk more darts in the second half. We've got to talk a bit of Borough, of course, which is not on the same sort of high, is it, at the moment? Because 0-0 against Sheff Wed. FA Cup defeat against Brighton. It's not the best of times at the moment. But we'll start with Brighton, Does it? Because you were on the pitch again. Because you're world champ again.
Yeah, you talk about not being on a high, but what a fantastic day I had on Saturday. I got the invite from Neil Maddison, who was just the best. Then I went and got a message when I got there quite quickly that Steve Gibson would like to meet me after the match. I then went to the 12th man bar and done some photos, etc. there, and there was about 500 waiting for me there. And as I walked back to to go home, the home dressing room door opened. Ben Gibson shouted me in. He showed me around the place. I just had the best day ever, barring the result.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to skip. Let's skip forward then. Sheffield Wednesday, Phil. Disappointing 0-0. You were there. I was there. Quite a few of us all of us at Red Army were there. Thoughts on that one?
Do you know, as much as it was disappointing, I don't think it was a bad game. I think we were 2 very evenly matched sides. I think we were midfield was on from both sides, although we weren't creative enough. I don't think. I think the midfield was very, very evenly matched. But we're going to win, we're going to lose, we're going to draw. I'd just like to see some of these draws at the Riverside turn into wins.
And how much do we need to win? It was a bit like you needing a leg, wasn't it?
Yes.
In the final towards the end. How much does this team now need to win?
Yeah, maybe a scrappy goal, something like that. I was hearing from your team there, like how many chances they had, missing goals, shots from 6 yards and hitting the bar, etc. It probably just needs that scrappy goal, just a bit of luck, for us to move forward.
We seem to be doing all right away from home. I mean, three successive wins, I think, 3 on the belt. It just seems to be at the Riverside. And Tony Pulis, after the match, was talking about this lack of goal scoring and performance in the final third. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, strikers go up and down, and you have to accept that. But it's not just Red. Like I said, we bring Red off, and 2 more come on. We need the 4 of them to provide us the goals that if we were scoring, we'd be a lot further up the table. Well, he's a wide player. I think it gives us the option. I like playing with wingers, so it gives us the option and the chance to see Jack. He's not played any games in America. It's still pre-season, so we'll have to assess where he is fitness-wise. But he's a talented, very, very talented player. He can play. He's got good pace, but he can play off people as well. You can see it pass. and he can score a goal. So, but he's only a young lad, and we're doing this not just with this year in mind or this season, but also if he does well, Man City will let us have him next year as well.
Interesting one, that. Pulis reckons 4 strikers on the pitch not singing off the same hymn sheet. Where didn't it work last night?
Do you know what? 60th minute, there was nothing happening. They looked like they were starting to take more and more control of the game. And there was no movement. And I think for somebody like Tony, who I'm a big fan of, by the way, I think as fans, we identified that a change was needed at that point. And nothing happened, and it was the 75th minute when not 1 but 3 changes came along, and I think that was a bit too little, too late for us to actually try and do anything and finish the game off. I think they just went from strength to strength after the 60th minute up until we made the 3 changes. But I don't think. You know, on the social on the Monday night, I've had a bit of a gripe with Assombalonga facing the wrong way all the time. He gets the ball, he's facing the wrong way. It means he has to take an extra touch to be able to do anything.
We're not playing him to his strengths?
I don't know, because
rather than it being him.
See, I would agree, but last night Bamford did exactly the same. There was so many chances that Bamford got the ball, but he was facing the wrong way. And because he's facing the wrong way and he hasn't got the intelligence to make that extra touch and turn, he's passing it back. And you know, that's one of the comments that Tony was saying. You know, we've got a brilliant squad, but we seem to be playing crab football, passing it along the corridors, but we're never actually going up the stairs with it up to the final third. It's just constantly going back and back and back or across the field. So, you know, I don't know what we can do.
It'd be nice to see us sticking 3 or 4 in, but as you said, does it? It's just that one, isn't it? We just need that off the referee's backside, give us 3 points at home. Would that lower the tension? Would that release a bit of the pressure that we're feeling at the moment in front of goal?
It would, and in my experience this year, I went away to Aston Villa and I thought Assombalonga was just different class that day. Traore was sent off after a couple of minutes, and I couldn't take my eyes off Assombalonga, and I thought, what a fantastic signing for 15 million. I watched the boy Fletcher on Saturday, 7 million quid from West Ham, and he needs to build, he needs experience, but I haven't seen a real quality there. You know, Gestede is, you know, possible like a Pulis sort of centre forward, you know, the big man up front there. So they probably just need a little bit of luck, and I totally agree with what you said there. You know, if Assombalonga's standing the wrong way, then play to his strengths. I watched Traore on Saturday, and for me, I'd put him down the middle as well, because
just let him run right.
Just pass the ball to him, because no pass is a bad pass. Because give him it 4 yards ahead, he'll get to it, and he's strong with it. You know, with the ball, with the centre out to his defender. Honestly, you know, there's real options there, but you know, just going back to that, they just need
getting it to gel. Well, let's have a look at your thoughts then immediately after the game. Mark was out with his camera. Here are your fan rants.
What do you think of it?
Didn't take our chances. Yep. Simple as that. Got to take chances. Had them on toasted set pieces, just couldn't take our chances.
Exactly.
Started well the first 20 minutes, and after that it deflated really badly, and then I think it just carried on the second half. It was kind of dull. I mean, where'd you go with that? 0-0. Should have been good 3 points. He had a few good chances, but their goalie kept some good shots out. What more can he say?
Very frustrating. 2 off the line jobs, 1 on the post. Should have had all 3 points tonight, not just shared it. They did enough to do it, but they just couldn't crack it in the back of the net.
We're all waiting for the time when Mark gets out with his camera and it's all beaming smiles, because it's going to come. I'm telling you, it's going to come. It's going to be Wembley. It's going to be playoff final this season. I'll put my house on it. I haven't got it. I'm renting. Phil, you wanted to say something, didn't you, just before we went to the fan rants there? What was it? Was it to do with the strikers?
Yeah, more Traore as a forward sort of player. You know, we've seen in the last few games our number one aim is to get that ball to him, because like Glenn just said, he's going to run onto it and he's going to get to the ball. But even when he doesn't get to the ball, last night there was a brilliant first half. He knocked the ball himself 4 or 5 yards ahead of him, drew the challenge, and as soon as he drew the challenge, he went over and the free kick was awarded. But if we can't, and we can't see a creative pass, is it not worth trying to do that and just try and win something on the edge of the box, whether it's a free kick, whether it's going to be a penalty? Don't just use him for his speed. Use him for his...
We've got Downing, it was a great free kick.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about Traore getting in and putting that final ball, as you say. Free kick on the end creates an opportunity for somebody else.
Yeah. And that's all we want. We want to see these chances. We're giving it's not that we're not giving the strikers enough opportunity to try and score, but you know, maybe as fans we're putting too much pressure on the strikers.
Yeah, well, they've got to score goals, mate. That's what they get paid for. I don't care. Yeah. We've got to take a break. I know it didn't do you well, did it, at the hockey a few weeks ago? But we're going to take a much better break this time. We'll be back very shortly. After this set of messages, join us on Red Army and we're going to talk darts.
Another game without a goal at the Riverside for Middlesbrough and Tony Pulis. Once again, they created more than enough chances to win the game. Patrick Bamford had a header which was saved in the first half. Ben Gibson hit the post after the break, but Borough just couldn't find that breakthrough. They started the game with Britta Sombolonga and Patrick Bamford up front. Rudy Gestead and Martin Braithwaite came on in the second half, but Borough just couldn't find that one moment to break the deadlock. Sheffield Wednesday are strong at the back, but Borough, as I said, had the chances to get the win today. The defence still looks strong. Midfield are creating chances. Stuart Downing created a couple of opportunities. Adama Traore even put in a couple of crosses that the strikers just couldn't convert, although his final product did let him down sometimes. Another frustrating day here at the Riverside as Borough slipped further away from those playoff places.
Now then, welcome back to part two. We're going to talk darts very, very shortly. But just before we do that, let's catch up with the latest goings on. Phil's a busy lad. He sits on the couch, he prepares things behind the scenes, and he also does the person-to-person social media.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Jen Hayton's been online in response to last night's game and says that Stewie played well. He showed some of the front line up with his consistent pressing and his dedication. Mark Smith says, we set up too deep. Bamford was our best left back tonight. Through the middle we are too static. I don't know why we don't just play two up front and forget the magical number 10. We don't have one. Please stop talking about how much money we've spent. Jeff McLeod says last night wasn't good, too many mistakes, but that was the players and not the manager. I think Pulis has already made a massive difference and he's spot on. The strikers do need to step up. Not taking chances on running into the box, playing too deep, overthinking it when they do get a chance. It's been anything but boring. We're going in the right direction and I feel more confident now than I did when Monk was in charge. And I think that's echoed through a lot of the supporters these days. And finally, another paragraph for you. Mick Norman says we are a graveyard for strikers. We've had all the up-and-coming strikers who can't find the net in a Borough shirt. We've had Macaroni, Alves, Rhodes, Stuani, Bamford twice, although in his first season he played a lot better. Gestead and now, of course, a Sombolonga. All had form before coming to the Borough and all struggled at Borough. Yet they have left and suddenly banging in goals for fun at the new clubs. Can anybody please explain why? Our defence and midfield have scored more in the last few months than our large, multi-talented, multi-million-pound strikers. Cheers, Dave.
It was an interesting one, wasn't it? Particularly that thing about how we tend to kill our strikers. But there you go. Let's be positive. Come on, folks. We're going to be positive and we're going to talk darts. Does it? 2 times world champion. It just trips now, doesn't it? It rolls off the... Go on, mate. Gotta be. This beauty here, I think you're getting a bit sick of people talking about the trophy and being world champ and all that sort of stuff. Have you fallen back in love with it now?
20 years, most nights I'd go to sleep, that's what I dreamt of. That was the motivation. That was the goal, that was the mountain to climb, but you know, I made a promise to go to every school and community group and you know, you name it, I was there, and you know, come July, August, I was pretty much exhausted last year taking that trophy. But if I can inspire one child, I met some fantastic kids, primary school, junior school, and if I can inspire one of them people, you know, to go on and do really well in life, then I've succeeded. But yeah, I've fallen back in love again. It's an awesome trophy, and it sits nicely in the house. and the house insurance has gone up from 13 quid a month to 28 quid a month.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to start a movement right here, right now on Red Army, and I think we'll do hashtag does a 3 times win keeps it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Like it.
You're going to keep it? I mean, if you score 3 on a pitch, mate, you keep the ball.
Genuinely, I don't know if you do or not. There was rumours that Bristol got the original trophy. I don't know if that's the original one or that's just rumours going around. But if I win it a 3rd time, Martin Adams has won it 3 times, but whether it was consecutive or not, I don't know. But it would be nice.
Just ask.
I'm shy.
Shy lad, even though you stand on the hockey with all that pressure.
I am very shy.
I like your tale about 6-4 break time. Let's get out to get some food.
Well, yeah, I'll be honest. I up until like I sat and watched that, I've had never had any interest in darts. I've never understood it. And obviously, you were on the show last year. You achieved it again this year, and I was like, let's watch it. Let's see, let's see what it's all about. And from when we turned it on and it was you on, I was just like, I know him. I've seen him before. We're going to watch this, and we did, and we really got into it. And even my partner out the back there, like, neither of us really were into darts. And now, as I say, we were watching it. We nipped out at the takeaway, came back, and we're like, whoa, what's going on? Come on! And we were screaming at the telly, screaming at it.
What happened? That's your partner? I thought it was your daughter.
Yeah, well, there you go. He pulls them. He certainly does. What happened, does it? Because at 6-4, you put your darts in your pocket and we're all thinking...
I didn't do that.
Well,
when you put
speaking figuratively,
but many people said that you put your darts away, Glenn, and that's the ultimate disrespect to a darts player.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Well, I'll get down on bended knee and apologise. I meant it figuratively.
Yeah, what happened was I put my dart in my mouth with total and utter disappointment because I'd missed 3 darts to level the match up at 6-6-2-2. Mark hadn't missed a double all match. Gave him and that's Mark's dart and prowess really. Give him a dart a double. And then when he missed and I went back to the board, I realised I'd bit a hole in my flight. So all I did was put a new flight in there. But at 6-4, you go back off stage, and all I'd said to my manager and to my best friend who was backstage with me was, once I go in the lead, I'll win. So when I went 6-4 up, we did all this talking. And I'm not the biggest drinker in the world, but it's nice just to have a little sip, just to take away the nerves, Dutch courage, wherever you want. And I walked back to the stage, and there was this huge roar from the Butter fans, and Pig Bag was blasting out. And I went to the market at 6 each. Do we go back off? Because I thought, I'm stone cold sober here, and the fundamentals all went wrong. The nerves kicked in, my knees were knocking. I started thinking, which is dangerous for a darts player. So mentally, I knew that I wasn't as comfortable. I'd gone. My bottle had gone, and I was happy to say that because it's a very lonely place when things start going wrong. And it's only when it went wrong for Mark, the dart he missed for the match, that I realised that maybe it is my day, maybe it is my destiny, and I guess the rest is history.
What was the point where it turned in your favour? Because we all look at the 147 checkout, we go, that was where he lost it. But you don't think it was, do you?
I think it was the double one. It was 2-1. I missed 3 darts. I go back, I bite my flight, and I virtually collapse if you watch the clip there, because my body is just shut down at that point with utter disappointment. He misses, I hit double one with my last dart. I'm reinvigorated, I'm re-energised, the adrenaline's pumping again, I'm starting to think I can be a double world champion. The 149 was quite sweet, it was quite straightforward. The treble 20 was nice, I'm a great treble 19 player. But what was very ironic is that I'd missed my banker dart, the double 16, missed it all week. And it just went in straight in the middle there, and I give it this pathetic dance that's never going to get me on Strictly Dancing.
You did that last year.
I tried.
Do you remember
the
remember the 3 balls?
Yes.
When you were in this very studio?
I
Let's have a look for the people at home. You did this last year in this very studio, and it went mad. It went manic. How unusual is it to hit 3 successive balls?
I done quite a lot of talks. I had some question and answers throughout the year, and I can honestly say that my moment with you guys and the 3 balls, because again, I've come in and the journey to the studio wasn't perfect. I get rushed in, I get a dartboard, put on me, and I hit the 3 balls. So I've told that story many times.
Yeah, I think it's only the 4th time on record where it's been caught on video. Somebody doing it on video.
Some American guy who's got huge fan base of darts, and he loaded it, and 50 to 100,000 hits, something like that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Red Army rocks.
Now, who's your borough hero?
Oh, that's a question. That's one that put me on the spot. You know what? It's. I don't have a hero as such because I'm very like, once a player's been and gone, they're gone, and you know. Now I don't hold grudges. Don't get me wrong, but I really liked DJ Degard when he was here. And that's why I'm saying I don't really have...
Didier Degard?
I don't have a hero as such, but one of my favourite players was probably Degard.
And who was yours?
I've got to say Archie Stevens is a number 2 because I'd love to give Archie, but I'm a massive Gary Hamilton fan.
And he knows it because you told us that you had that conversation.
And I met him, and when I told him, I don't think he believed me. Then I got another interview, and
well, look at this. This is John Higton, Big John, and it's on an Ali Brownie T-shirt because Big John was Ali's hero.
Was it?
Absolute hero. He was in this very studio this week having a chat with us. Big, massive Borough legend. This is what he had to say about Tony Pulis. He reckons he's the right man to keep Borough where we are and then build and get us into the Premier League.
Well, he's managed for many years in the Premier League, so he knows what it's like, what is needed, and I think he'll get the team playing as a team. That's basically what you need, to play as a team. Everybody pulling for each other, fighting for each other.
So we're going to give this away. We're going to give it away. All you've got to do is send us the reason why your particular player is your hero. So if it's Juninho, tell us why. Tell us it's Juninho, tell us why. If it's John Higton, tell us why. So get it into us. You can email us, you can Facebook us, Twitter us, Messenger us. Do whatever you have to do to get the message in. And we'll pull one out, we'll read it out, and the winner will get this John Higton signed T-shirt. Does an absolute pleasure. I'm sorry it's only a half-hour show, because I could talk to you for hours and hours, BDO, PDC, all that kind of stuff, but we've run out of time. Brilliant to have you in the show, mate.
Just a big thanks to Red Army and the support you've given me and everything. So and all the best moving forward. You do a great job, guys.
And long will it continue, I tell you. Phil, thanks for joining us on this couch.
Thank you very much.
Scoreline, just give us a scoreline. Against Norwich. 1-0. Against Norwich.
1-0 win.
1-0 win. I'll go for a 1-0 win, even though we haven't done particularly well against them over the last few years. Right, we'll catch you next week. See you.